Resorix here. I hope you guys enjoyed that montage. So the takeaway from those clips is that the player is seen to be performing 3 actions simultaneously. Those actions being 1. Shooting their weapon, 2. Using their grenade, which is grapple in this case, and 3. Opening their inventory. Now, basic rocket grappling, that is grappling straight up, is pretty simple. As long as you're decently fast on your inputs, you will be able to grapple vertically 100% of the time. However, you will not be able to grapple consistently at an angle. This is because of the recoil that inherently happens when you shoot your rocket. Whenever you're looking straight up, there is no recoil, and that's why the grappling directly up is pretty straightforward. Now, something that speedrunners discovered was if you actually open your inventory the second you grapple, or the second you shoot, it actually negates any sort of recoil there is. And so if you were to input you shooting your weapon and grappling and then opening inventory at the same time, it would make it so that there is no recoil and you would be able to grapple onto your projectile. You could manually input these actions, and there are indeed some speedrunners who opt to do this, but a far easier way is to bind all 3 actions to the same key, making it so pressing that singular key performs all 3 actions at the same time. This does not violate any Destiny 2 SRC rules and is allowed because we are not using any external programs, you're just editing the game's keybinds. Okay, so let's just go in game. I'm going to go over to fire, set it to Y, which is my key of choice, and also set grenade to my key of choice. However, you will see that upon setting grenade, it actually removes the key binding for fire. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to global, key binding storage, make sure that that is set to computer. We are going to press Windows E to open File Explorer, and then in the search bar, we're going to type %appdata%. You could also just press Windows R to open the run, and then type in the same thing, either works. We're going to go over to Bungie, Destiny PC, Prefs, and then we are going to be opening the CVARS.xml file here. Now before you open it, just make sure you go to Properties and uncheck the read-only if it is set to read-only. Hit Apply and hit OK. Now you can open this in any text editor you like. I personally use VS Code, so I'm going to open this up right here. We are going to go over to Fire. Now since I already set it, it's already set as Y, but you're going to have unused here. You're going to get rid of that, which is your secondary key binding. You're going to bind it to whatever key you want. So in my case, I just like using Y. Same thing for grenade. It's going to be unused here. I'm going to get rid of that and type in Y. You could bind a lot of menus if you like. You could bind the world menu like this, the map menu, the destinations menu. I just like personally binding the inventory key because I find it really easy once I go in my inventory to just press my default inventory keybind to get out of my inventory quickly so I can be back in the game quicker. So the name of the inventory in the CVARS file is actually start menu alternative. So it's going to be unused for you guys here. You just get rid of that and then type in Y. Hit Control S to save, and then we are going to close the program. We're going to go back to Windows Explorer, and you just want to go to Properties again. Some people have reported that they have had issues when they have left this unchecked and it is not read-only, so I would just recommend that you check this to make it read-only. Hit Apply, hit OK. You're going to have to restart your game for these changes to apply, so let's just do that real quick. I will be right back. Okay, so I just relaunched my game and I'm currently in the shooting range. So let me go over my updated keybinds really quickly. As you can see, my secondary keybind for fire has been successfully set to Y. The same can be set for my grenade. And finally, my character menu screen has also been set to Y. Now I am going to showcase some grappling here really quickly, but before I do that, I just want to mention that unlike macros, which make it so that you can bind key presses to activate at different timings, binding different actions to a single key in CVARS makes it so that all those actions activate instantaneously and simultaneously when you press that key. Now you could make the argument about whether you could design macros that do the same thing, right? You could just activate different keys instantaneously, and while yes, this is true, macros are specifically mentioned in the Bungie TOS to be violations of the TOS, and therefore I would recommend that you not make a macro to do this. Like, why would you make a macro to do this when you can just use the CVARS file, which is completely compliant with the TOS and is basically a part of the game itself, right? And also, like I mentioned before, and I just want to reiterate, CVARS changes are fully allowed in the Destiny 2 speedrunning rule set, and so you're not breaking any rules there. You're perfectly fine to use this in speedrun environments. Okay, so I'm going to showcase some rocket grappling with my He's and Vengeance here. Also, the velocity on your rocket does not matter at all. You could have this to be as high or as low as you want. Does not matter. So I am going to look in the distance over there, and I'm going to press my CVARS keybind, which is Y. Now what that's going to do is it's going to shoot the rocket, it's going to grapple to it, and open my inventory. Now I'm going to press Z right after I do that, which is my inventory key, so that I can get out of my inventory and go back to seeing the gameplay. So as we go, here we go. Y and then Z. There you go. You can also do this with Lumina projectiles as well, which I'm going to showcase right here. So Lumina projectiles are slower, so just keep that in mind. You can also do this with Alethanim. If I can just get a grapple really quickly by grappling there and just run to the flag here. Excuse me, guys. Okay. Run back here so I don't grapple to those points. Same thing. You just want to keep in mind though that Alethanim projectiles break off sooner than Lumina and rocket projectiles, so you're going to end up traveling a lot lesser of a distance compared to Lumina and rocket grappling. Now rocket grappling is what you're going to be primarily seeing in transitions for most speedruns. However, Alethanim grapples and Lumina grapples are still prevalent. Something you can also use to get even more momentum is combining Ascension with your grapple to just carry your grapple momentum over. And I believe I've covered all the basics of grappling onto a projectile here. So just follow the steps like I said in the video, and you guys should be able to get this down in no time. Hope you guys have a lot of fun with this technique because it is really fun to do. It's really easy to do with CVARS. If you've got any questions or techniques you would like to see covered next on the channel, please let me know in the comments. Once again, thanks for watching. See you later, Guardians.